Gimme Flake Man. King of the Morons, we're starting a little bit late today. It's 10 after 10, not too late. And I've got Hikosaemon and Robert Millar live from Tokyo.
Yeah, we don't have technical issues ever on this show. We don't. This is completely, everything is planned and was just designed to build tension and expectation. And I think it's
the suspense.
A complete success.
Even I was nervous.
It's actually rare that we're the ones making you nervous. I feel like we've achieved something right there. Rob is back. Second time on the show by popular demand.
And I hate to be shallow, Robert, but you're looking rather buff. Have you been like working out or something? What's going on there?
Yeah, well, I got off the grains. I got off bread and I got off milk. And
Robert, that's us playing.
He's playing videos.
I just turned it off. We just came on live and we're looking very good. What are you using right now? An iPad?
Yeah, just iPad.
Yeah.
Wow, the picture is really clear.
You want to see my abs?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Kidding, man.
I mean, there's so many people who are many men.
I will say no, stop.
Many men asked to flash me their abs, so I guess it's something about me. They want to impress me. I don't know.
But mostly not eating silly stuff. That's all.
No.
Look, now you're doing the kickboxing too, or?
Yeah, well, Kung Fu. Yeah, I teach that at Ginza Hub every week. That's kind of helping, of course. Went to Taiwan recently. That was fantastic. I got to train with some of the big dogs over there. So, yeah.
Oh, great.
We're actually fighting dogs, right?
No, not dogs, but big dogs, like, large individuals.
Yes, I get it.
Anyway.
Figure of speech, people. Please.
This is an odd angle we're looking at here. It's like we're on the bridge of the Enterprise or something with all the lights behind us.
Well, this is actually the bridge of the Enterprise.
Makes us look really shiny, too, I see.
It's my halo. That is my halo.
Hey, so Robert, thanks for coming on again. I think this is one of the few times we've had someone on twice. This is maybe the second or third.
We've had a few repeaters, but it's it's an elite group of people that we ask to come on again. Usually we don't want to meet them after they've been on the show. Usually
never again.
The relationship becomes difficult.
Oh, come
They're
on.
like, guys, I'm sorry, I can't. Like, no, this has actually worked out. So tell us what happened after you came on the show. What happened?
So at the last show in June, we generated a lot of interest about the things we were talking about, but most of the feedback, most of the questions I got were about how to build a business in Japan. And so from that show, I've actually got a group of customers now who are paying me on an hourly basis to help them build their businesses in Japan, some overseas, some here in Japan. And it's a beautiful thing. So I thought, well, this time around, maybe we should drill down and talk a bit more about what people want to hear, rather than all this fluff about martial arts and other things that maybe people don't want to hear.
But this is an important point. So, and your abs.
And my abs. Let's leave the abs, actually.
But so in this mass of of commenters that Victor is just frequently relentlessly attacking and putting down all the time.
I'm going to be nice to everyone today, even the assholes.
You're going to be nice to the commenters today. Even the assholes. Even the assholes. And
even the
Trump
supporters.
I'm going to stay till 2 a.m. I'm going to stay till 2 a.m. I'm going to try and answer all the comments. Last time, because Hiko had to go and get the last train, we cut it off, and then all the comments went away. We logged back in and
the live ones. Well, actually, I would actually say this. Wait until after the live stream is stopped, because the live stream comments disappear, but then it switches to normal comments, which are permanent.
Right.
So during the live stream,
but I want to answer the live stream comments.
Oh, well, that's good. But it's better for us to be talking, actually. And in a way, when people have comments, if you have a comment to leave for Robert, it's better to leave it afterwards so that everyone can see the question and the answer.
Can they not just leave it at the point and we pick it up later? It doesn't work like that?
It used to, but the YouTube keeps changing the commenting system. They don't allow the live comments to stay. So the live comments are good, and it would be good if we had a system where we had someone who could feed the comments to us. But I don't want to.
What we could do is, if you find a comment you like, let me know and I'll copy it and I'll paste it in later.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. That's good.
Okay. I'll do that right now.
But I can't do it now while we're like in the mix. So.
Okay, so I've opened up a separate text window. So if you find a comment you want, tell me and I'll copy it right away and put it in.
Actually, I'll open that while we're talking as well, so we can see it on the computer here.
Okay.
But point is, in spite of the masses of morons that Victor is constantly, attacking and putting down, and I'm asking, please don't provoke them because we don't know what they're capable of. It turns out some of you guys actually.
We do. They're not capable of very much. No, don't worry.
See, this is the thing. But it turns out they're capable of starting businesses.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They all came up to, a bunch of people came up to Rob later, and some of these guys are actually rocking businesses. Like they're actually getting started now.
That's true.
Oh, really?
In the time between the June Oyajis and now, I've been able to take on a few of the clients who watched the show.
Wow.
And they're actually building businesses, which is really cool. Some in the UK, some in New Zealand, some in the US, and some already here in Japan.
So when am I getting my 10% finder's fee check for this?
We'll see. We'll sort you out.
Don't
you worry. We'll sort you out.
At least some free coffee. I heard your coffee's pretty good. So
the coffee's pretty good.
The coffee is the best coffee I've ever had.
I just made him one at 10 o'clock at night.
Man. This is serious.
You should smell this. Smell this, Victor. You smell that? It's so good.
all right.
That's.
By the way, I think the answer you're looking for before is your 10% will be in heaven.
No, your 10% will be in coffee.
With my 72 versions. Okay.
We need to do a whole show just on how he makes coffee, because this is the best coffee I've ever had. I mean, this is like
for those of you who are joining us for the first time, Robert, could you give us a little intro, just a short one this time?
All right. Let's see. Short one. Martial artist from Australia comes to Japan. Someone's grabbing the mouse here. Let's see. Graduates from corporate nonsense at Morgan Stanley, becomes an entrepreneur, gets into IT, finds that he has a skill in helping people with things. For example, did you get it? Did you get it? All right. This is my star member at Ginza Hub. Can I get in front of the camera for a second, Tia? Come on,
Hey, Tia.
Tia, you've seen Tia before. She's been on Oyajis before, right?
See, commenters always.
She got us the missing piece to get all the sound stuff happening.
This is how good Rob is. He'll run to Don Quixote to make sure things go.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's impressive.
You know, I think this is working okay myself. I don't know. Well, let me. I'll do the technical stuff in the background. You guys talk. Let me do.
Just quickly, I don't really want to talk about me too much. I want to talk about getting people doing business in Japan. Listen, okay, let's fast forward a few years. I've been in Japan for 25 years. This is Ginza Hub. A little bit hard to see. It's a co-working space. There you go. You can see down the end there. There's Hiko screwing around. There's Tia doing her thing. It's for young, mostly foreign entrepreneurs to have a place where they can do business and build their dreams here. It works great. So I'm providing great coffee and a nice space for people to work, but I'm also trying. Coffee's great. I'm also trying to help people actually take their ideas from ideas to functioning businesses. I've done it many times in Japan. I've helped a lot of people here, and now I get to do it for the Oyajis crew, and I'm really, really happy with that. So there it is in a nutshell. Okay.
All right, great. Now you gave us a list of 4 things that you're going to do here.
Yep.
Right. You want to go through that? Go that way, or?
Well, the first thing is, if you want to know about me and my relationship with Hiko from 16 years ago, and go and have a look at the previous Oyajis video with us in June, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Tonight, given that everyone was asking about building a business in Japan, I just want to drill down into that a little bit. So, just 4 things I want to tell you. One is, I was going to preempt that with a bit of a spiel, but let's skip it. To build a business in Japan, which is a very cool thing. Victor knows it. Hiko knows it. No, you don't know it. You're a corporate, aren't you?
I am a seller.
He's still corporate. So we won't talk about Hiko at this point.
I'm going to link the last video in the description right away. Okay. So people can find that
then people can see what we're talking about if they so wish.
So I want to learn this. This is the point for me. I want to know how to escape my prison sentence 9 to 5.
All right. Well, there are 4 things that I want to talk about. One is defining a problem worth solving.
Right.
One is getting a visa for doing business in Japan. One is registering a business in Japan. And then the most fun part is the 4th part, which is launching your minimum viable product, your actual business. So these are the 4 things. Please don't take notes or get into it too much, guys, or comment too much. What I've actually done is made an online course, video and transcripts of the video with more details that I'm going to launch during this show. You can go there and you can get all the information for free, or more details about it if you're so interested. So I'm just going to touch on things quite lightly, if that makes sense. All right.
Okay.
By the way,
how's the sound guy going?
we're rocking actually. So yes, you go, and I'm going to set this up.
All right.
It's around the back. Right?
Look for the 3.5
I got
mil
it.
port.
I got it.
You got it.
So yes.
So are we good?
Okay.
Shall
Yeah.
I move on to the first thing? All right. Defining a problem worth solving. So at Ginza Hub, being a co-working space with all sorts of startups who come here from all different countries and different backgrounds with different ideas, some great things come across my desk, some really cool ideas. But more often than not, when I ask them what the problem is worth solving, the answer is, well, does it matter? It's going to be so cool. Everyone's going to love it. It's going to go off. And unfortunately, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You've got to have a problem worth solving. You've got to be able to define it. You've got to be able to state it. Otherwise, it's just an idea. It's just a hobby, right? So this is the main thing I try and tell people. I try to get them to enunciate it. We role play it. Something that you can define as a genuine problem worth solving. It's not good enough to have an idea. Unless you're Microsoft or Google or Apple, people don't buy cool. It's not enough to be cool. You've got to have something that solves a problem. And if you can't define that, you're better off not going the entrepreneur route and just staying as a corporate citizen.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at him? Why are you looking at him?
Because we often talk about this idea of a problem for Hiko to solve. And if he's not doing it now online.
I have nothing but problems.
Come on.
I do. I've got. So
he's one of the smartest guys I know. I've known him for 16 years. You guys, I'm not allowed to talk about his background, but it's substantial. And then every now and then he asks me about this problem worth solving. And there's got to be something, man.
Thanks.
Well, all the Israeli military training has come in pretty handy, I can see.
Yeah. You know, I told you, don't talk about that, Victor, please.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Anyway, if anyone out there is interested, actually, I saw the comments in the intro video earlier today, like there.
Right.
Some people are genuinely interested in coming to Japan and building a business and living the dream. And I'm doing it. And Tia down the end of the room, she's doing it. And it is possible and it's beautiful. This is a fine land. This is a wonderful place to do business and to live. Like I said, 25 years. I'm a lifer, but I love it. I can't imagine going anywhere else. I go back to Australia every year for a couple of months to unwind and be with the fam. But this is where I want to be. This is where I want to do stuff. You can do anything in Japan. You can build anything. You can learn anything. Define a problem worth solving. Otherwise, pretty much worth sticking to your day job.
Okay, so I've been thinking all day about what let's do this as an exercise, as a theoretical exercise. So I'm going to come up with an idea of a problem worth solving, which is Victor and we did that creator day where we talked about all of the awesome functionality, you know, where we taught creators.
Right.
If you use all of the functionality on YouTube, you can do all these things to boost your channel, but actually, it's actually quite a lot of work to do. Right, there we go, the YouTube cape. Yeah. You got a Superman cape.
I have one.
You have a Superman
I have
cape?
the shirt version that you gave me at the the party.
This is the Superman version.
Oh, nice. Put it on to go on. Put it on.
Here's my idea. You know, a service for YouTubers that's not an MCN. We're not promising to market them or to do, you know, something like that. But you're just offering.
What is MCN?
A multi-channel network where there are these networks.
It's like basically an agent.
Yeah,
that takes your money.
They take a cut of your ad revenue and they promise to, you know, boost you to cross-market you with other members in the same channel. And all the stuff which they never do. They just take your ad revenue and do nothing for you, right?
Usually,
yeah.
Interesting business model. Okay.
Makes money, but yeah, it's tough. My idea is having someone who would, for example, put all the tags in your video afterwards, who would make the nice thumbnail for you afterwards. You know, all you have to do is make the video and upload it. Someone else would go on. If you get a lot of comments, like you're a big channel, they would go through and package up your comments. They would moderate your comments.
Wait a second. What's the problem with solving here?
So the problem with solving is that it's actually quite a lot of effort after you upload the video to actually do all the settings and manage your own videos on a YouTube channel. I mean, for a lot of people, for people who do nothing but YouTube all the time, and there are a few people who do that, you can do it. People who live off YouTube, they have long days of doing nothing but YouTube. I know that's not the image. The idea is people are eating popcorn on the sofa and recording funny videos, and that's not how it is.
It's a lot of
work. So the idea of bridging the gap between having a normal job but wanting to be able to do YouTube as properly as someone who is there all the time, kind of a service for that, helping people just get the best settings on all of their videos and stuff like that every time.
All right.
That labor, I
And
think, is an
you know
idea.
this is true. You've tested this. There are people who are willing to pay for this, or is it just a?
The willing to pay part is the interesting part because YouTube's a lot of young people without the deep sort of pockets that would normally pay for a human-based service.
Mate, that's the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
The problem we're solving needs to have a group of people that are willing to pay for the solution to that problem.
Yeah.
If it's just a problem that's amorphous and that's out there that no one can afford or no one's interested in dealing with.
So this is a tough thing. The thing is that I suppose if there are big channels, well, the MCN model is that you get a direct cut. You can actually apply to be a multi-channel network and you get a cut of the ad revenue from it. So
But that doesn't seem to be working, right?
Well, it doesn't work. A lot of the cases where it's set up, what they promise is not what they deliver, which is that they promise all this promotion, whereas I'd be offering something which would not be promotion. It'd be offering, helping channels, basically a cheaper version of getting an assistant to manage your comments for you and manage your tags and so on, which a lot of the bigger channels eventually do. They hire an intern to do the stuff on the channel. I'd suggest getting people basically using outsourcing services and connecting that up and training people to be very good at using YouTube, that they can package that in a way that's more affordable and accessible to people before their channel gets that big.
Sounds good. You're talking kind of about virtual assistants, right?
Yes.
People that you can
A
outsource the
YouTube
hard
virtual
bits to.
assistant to help you manage your
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
There must be people out there doing that.
Well,
You would think so in India.
yeah, well, but that's my idea, is actually get a really good version of that set up. I mean, they're not that easy to find. The multi-channel networks kind of promise that, but they only deliver that to the very top channels, frankly, where it's worth their while money.
Otherwise, it's not worth their while.
I know how many people come to me, especially like channel like Shark, you know, I was going to say something, but for example, big female YouTubers have a big problem with trolls, comments, and, you know, creepy comments and managing all that sort of stuff.
Are they big?
Sorry? Very big, like getting near the million sort of level. And so the comments are unmanageable, but the comments can be, just the comments themselves are a big chore.
So you mean someone who can manage the comments for them and steer things in the direction that they want to market? And look, it sounds like a problem worth solving.
Yeah.
Just remember that the other side of that coin is that there's a group who will pay for the problem to be solved.
Yeah.
A target audience who's going to be interested in that problem.
Yeah. So that's going to be as the example. That's something I was
I
thinking.
like this. We can run with this.
Okay, so the problem is dealing with your channel in a more efficient way.
Yes, that's right. Just basically as a service, offering to help people manage their channels and get the most out of their videos without imposing that 2 hours of setting time that you can do on every video.
I can actually fix that for you, but I'd prefer someone to jump in and we make it work and then talk about that later on.
Okay, cool. So let's keep going. So that is the problem.
Okay,
so
interesting. Well, look, there's lots of problems we're solving out there for the people that are viewing this. Some may be able to fix your problem. Some may have other problems that they think are worth solving. Just remember that the other side of that coin is to have a target audience who's willing to pay for that. So you've got to test it.
Yeah.
It's no good saying I have a problem worth solving if it's not tested. The only way to test it is to find a group of people, early adopters, if you will, who will actually pay for that.
Right.
So if you want to run a restaurant and you've got this unique cooking that you want to do, well then make sure you serve it to people, and so that they can come back and say it was absolutely great. I would pay for it if you built a cafe around it. If you've got an app that you think is a great idea, build a really basic version, send it out to people, and see if there's any uptake on that at all. I made a massive mistake with this years ago. With a doctor friend of mine, I built an online portal for health education and health products. We spent years getting it just right before we launched, and then we launched it to the sound of crickets. Nothing happened. Nobody cared. We didn't ask anyone if anyone was going to care. It was just so awesome and so cool, and it was going to change the world, that we got it out there and nothing happened. We didn't identify a problem worth solving, and we failed terribly. We lost a massive amount of money and a lot of time for the simple reason that we didn't ask if anyone gave a shit. So if you've got an idea that you think is that addresses a problem worth solving, test it. Test it. Find a small group of people who say, yep, look, if you build that, I'll pay for it. This is what I did with Ginza Hub. I built a very bare bones space. I did 2 seminars in Tokyo, and I said, look, here's my vision, here's my mock-up, and I did these projector screenshots. And I said, if I can get 5 people who will say that they will pay for a monthly membership to be here, I'll build it. I got 3. Actually, I got 5, and 3 of them turned up. So I decided to build it. And those 3 are still here with me. So test your idea, throw it out. Make sure that there are paying customers who are willing to go with it. Otherwise, it's just a hobby.
Two things. Chris Sanders, we will get to, in fact, the next subject will be Japan related, so we'll get to Japan in just a second.
Oh, this is very Japan related. Well, this is business related. But...
Yeah. And Victor, so you've started, how many businesses have you started? You've got your school, obviously. Have you ever started?
I've only started one business. I was asked to be the manager of a rock and roll band, and I ended up promoting them to the point that I became redundant. We were bought out by a record company, and they fired me because we don't need him. So
corporate, the corporate world right there.
I did that back in the 80s, but the bass player stole all the money and ran away, and so we didn't have a business anymore. So anyway,
it's always the bass. What is it with bass players? It's always the bass players.
I don't know. We should have seen it coming.
Some of my best friends are bass players, but seriously, you got to keep your eye on them.
Shall we pull it back to Japan?
Yeah.
Well, because I think
the next thing is getting a visa for doing business in Japan. So I'm sure there are people here with visas to do business in Japan, so you can skip this bit. But for those who don't, there's a couple of ways to do this. So I want to talk about two ways for people who are already here. The first one is an add-on visa. It's a side business visa to whatever you're doing. So for example, if you've got an instructor visa and you're teaching English, you want to be a translator, you can get an add-on visa that allows you to bill people for your translation services. It's not hard. It's just paperwork. It's quite new as a concept. But it works, and I've got people at Ginza Hub who have done it and who are building their businesses in addition to whatever it is that their visa conditions state. And most often this is teaching English. So if you're an English teacher and you've got an idea, you're a good engineer or a translator or a chef or whatever, you're able to do this legally and charge for it with this add-on visa.
I'll be right back. I'm getting I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be right back. Sorry. Hello?
All right.
Okay.
Victor,
Yeah.
You shouldn't move away from the...
Switch the video.
Mute yourself, Victor. Victor, he's taking off, so here's the thing.
Live show right
Victor
now,
has
actually.
taken off the headphones, so he can't hear us.
Just turn the phone
Okay, no.
off, bro.
Okay, sit. Bye.
So we're all forced to listen to the damn phone call.
That's so funny. That is a guy who wants to talk about investing money into some idea that I have. That's so funny.
Did you find the
So I thought, this is so weird. I can't believe this guy's calling at this exact moment. So
I can't believe that he's calling at this exact moment either, Victor.
Please turn the phone off.
sorry about that.
Okay. No, you should mute yourself when you're on the phone.
Go ahead, keep going.
If we take off the headphones, you should mute the microphone.
It's off. Okay, we okay?
Well, that's okay. Yeah, we're good. So I didn't know.
Sorry about that.
I always figured if you're like an English teacher, or I'm working like in the United Nations as the head of the United Nations or something like that, that I thought you just do it. You're good. Your side business thing, you do need this additional.
No, well, if you don't, then you're functioning illegally. If you have an instructor visa or an engineering visa, and then you try to do something different to that, you're acting illegally.
So
you
brain
can't do that.
surgeon.
No, if you want to be a brain surgeon, you have to have that attached to your current visa status.
Okay.
Look, it's not a big deal. It's just paperwork. You've got to have the right documentation.
But they had a whole bunch of doctors come over after the 3/11 earthquake, and they came over to help, but they weren't allowed to do anything because they were not certified to practice medicine in Japan.
Wow. Yeah.
So they're pretty strict about that, even during an earthquake.
Fair enough. And look, guys, I need to say, I'm not a visa expert. I'm not a lawyer here.
No, look at me.
But I've done this a lot of times. I've helped a lot of people at Ginza Hub and elsewhere, and I've had a bunch of visas myself in my 20+ years here. So I do know a thing or two about them. I just want to give you general advice. Bless you.
Thank you.
There's the add-on visa. That's the first one. The second one is a self-sponsored visa. This is also rather new. If you're an engineer or an English teacher or a translator and you're connected to a company, they're sponsoring your visa, you can actually move away from sponsorship and do it yourself and be independent. And this is a godsend for a lot of English teachers who don't want to be handcuffed to their companies anymore.
I did that.
You did that, Victor. Well, there you go.
I just gathered a bunch of people who gave me letters promising that they would employ me for a certain amount of time, and I showed that I had enough income to support me a month, and I got my independent visa.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, you're the perfect example, and I know a few people have done this. As long as you've got contracts or commitment to do business from enough people to cover what would be your normal living costs, you can get a visa and become independent. I don't mean, you can get what can I say, another version of the current visa you're on. It's, yeah, self-sponsorship. My point is here, you can't cross over to another visa though. You can't say, well, look, I'm done being an English teacher, I'm going to be an engineer because my computer skills are good. That's not going to happen with this particular visa.
Good point.
But if you're going to continue with similar skills to the skill set that's named on your visa, you can do it and you can rid yourself of the connection of the need to have a sponsor. That's a big deal.
There's a good question here actually by Terraset. It's asking, is there a kind of general visa? In terms of work visas, they always have to find categories. But if you want to come here and be free to sort of do anything, if you're on a spousal visa, if you get into that situation, or permanent residence visa, and as well with the working holiday visa, there are restrictions on the amount of time that you can work, but there aren't categorical restrictions on types of work. You have to be from a country that has a working holiday visa scheme. But there are those ways. In terms of there being a work anything you like work visa, that doesn't quite exist. There's generally a category from what I understand, but there are ways. I mean, Victor and I are both permanent residents. Are you permanent? You're spousal?
On the way. I had an investor's visa, spouse visa. I'm in the process of getting PR, but I got knocked back because I got a speeding fine in 1988.
Really?
How fast were
they
you going?
I was going kind of fast, but I did get arrested for it. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I see that Tia has actually answered here that the humanities visa can cover quite a few jobs. So if you're talking category-wise, the humanities visa is now a combination of like engineering, humanities, and like some specialist in.
Oh yeah, I used to have one of those. Yeah,
it's been changed recently. To go for it from scratch, there's that. Yeah. But what I really want to talk about is these two that you can get if you're already here. And then one that you can get from scratch, which is the next one, which is the investor/business manager visa. This is fairly new. I had it when I ran zeros and ones because I employed a minimum of 2 Japanese citizens. I actually had 5 in my office. So now it's not about employing Japanese citizens. It's about starting capital and a couple of other hurdles. You can start from scratch. You can apply from this from overseas. But you need 5 million yen in starting capital.
Which is about 50 grand.
About 50 grand. This is not money you need to spend. This is money you need to show as the starting capital for your business. That's one of the hurdles. The benefits, though, is that you're totally free. There's no sponsorship. You can work in any category you want, from IT to translation to photography to professional services to restaurants to anything you want with this investor visa, business manager visa. In the bank or $50,000 as starting capital.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know this, but just to
clarify. That's cool. That's good to know, yeah.
So if you can get financing for 50 grand to start a business which is operating in Japan and there's 50 grand allocated to that business in Japan, then you can basically sign your own ticket to come here and work and run the business.
Yes, you can. But there are 2 other hurdles. There's always other hurdles. One other one is that office space. Well, first of all,
you have to have office space.
Yeah, office space, but it can't be office space like Ginza Hub. It can't be co-working space. It has to be dedicated office space. So think about it. You don't have a visa. You're trying to come to Japan. You want to get this business manager's visa, and you need to have office space. What real estate agent is going to give you a chance? No way. You're a massive risk. It's not going to happen. So it's really hard to find office space. There's plenty of co-working space like Ginza Hub, but the immigration office won't allow it for this visa. So there are a few places that I know in Tokyo where you can hire a tiny cubicle with the proper 4 walls and an internet connection and nothing else, pay a monthly amount, and they do this specifically for the people who want this visa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it actually works.
Wow. This is
it's bizarre.
I didn't know about this at all.
So I'm thinking of, I own the building. I'm thinking of chopping up one of my lower floors into these little cubicles.
Yeah.
And then
doing the same thing.
But it's just so silly. I mean, people are paying through the nose for these tiny cubicles which they can't work out of. It's still like a little prison cell. However, the immigration office recognizes them as separate entities and not shared space, and will give them the visa.
And how much is the rent of those places?
Last time I looked, the Shinjuku Business Garden was charging $37,500 for like a 2 tatami sized space with nothing except internet.
That's a month.
So you bring your own water, you make your own coffee. There's no services, there's nothing, but you can get the visa.
37,000 a month?
Yeah, And
that's completely doable. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's $370 a month.
Yeah, but it's a year's commitment.
Yeah.
You've got to sign up for a year. Anyway, they've got a good business model. I think it's a bit it's kind of ripping off people who want to do this. However, I can't help. My space is shared. So even though I thought we could do it here, we've been told under fairly clearly that it's not going to happen because we're shared space.
Yeah.
The other hurdle, which is not so bad but quite annoying, is that you need a proper business plan for the investor business manager's visa. It has to detail your financial forecast. That is the money that you're going to be earning, how you're going to be earning it, that sort of thing. So it gets fairly detailed. You've basically got to prove that you've got a good business idea, satisfy the immigration office, then they give you a visa and you're free. Once you get the visa, you can do whatever you want, but getting it is probably the hardest. So there's 3 levels there, right? There's the add-on visa, there's the self-sponsored visa, then there's the investor/business manager's visa. This is cool. There's also, look, there's spousal visa, there's permanent residency, but for people that want to do business in Japan, these are the 3 that I recommend for those reasons that I outlined.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I guess if you've got a business abroad that you want to bring to Japan, the investor visas is sort of the natural, that's set up for that scenario.
It actually makes it easier. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I had an Australian company. I made a branch office in Japan. It was a lot of paperwork, but because I hired Japanese nationals, it was easy for me to get that visa, and it was great.
Cool.
And then I sold that business, and I lost the visa with it, but that's okay.
Comment.
So,
Question.
I have a quick question for you. Some people, I give this advice sometimes. Worst case scenario, sign up for a school, pay for the tuition, and get a student visa because you're allowed to work for I think 20 hours a week on a student visa.
20 hours a week.
Right. So once you get in on a student visa, you can make connections by just being here, and maybe move on after that. What do you think about that suggestion?
But you can't build a business with a student visa, though, Victor. You've got to make the transition, just like someone coming from overseas needs to make the transition from student visa to business visa. It's a big leap. I mean, look, making the connections, absolutely. Being able to live in Japan and work part-time, hell yeah. But you're going to have to go overseas and reapply for the visa from scratch like everybody else.
Okay, good. So that's good to know. I didn't know that. You have to apply from overseas to get this visa.
No, you don't, but given the student visa situation, it would seem to be better. Look, I don't know, man. You could roll the dice and try that.
It used to be that way. Back when you and I came back in the day, you had to go to Korea or somewhere, to switch visas. But nowadays, I've heard
from working holiday to business visa or business to PR, no, we don't have to go anywhere. But this is a new visa. Given that the factors are the same, if I were to do it again, I'd do it from overseas. I've got a young Swedish guy who's a member here who's trying to get this visa now, and he keeps saying, "I wish I'd have just done it in Sweden." So I'm not sure. I haven't been to the end of that, but it doesn't make that much difference, man. But to be in Japan and the motivation and the network you can build, hell yeah, you can come over here, join a school, and get a student visa, and I do recommend that too.
So Dutch Gaijin 500's asked a couple of times about this, and maybe either of you have ideas on this about how you actually build a network to get started when you're here. You have a lot of these guys who come to Japan, they want to start a business and they want to make connections. What are your guys' experience when starting up your own businesses and how you connected with people?
Obviously, like-minded people. This is Tokyo. There are so many events, so many meetup groups, so many cool events happening around different niches. So if you're an engineer, there's a million startups, meetups and groups you can join. If you're an entrepreneur, there are too. So yeah, join a niche group, find like-minded people, find out how they do things here, how they survive here. That's definitely the way to go. And that's a great question too. That's how I did it when I came here. I wanted to be an engineer. I got in with various engineering groups. I landed myself a great job through those connections, and the rest is history.
What did you do, Victor?
This is going to sound strange, but you just meet people in bars. I used to go to this bar where they had these old foreigners who'd been here forever, that's where they would visit, and you make connections with them, and they know where all the jobs are, and yeah, you just make friends. Well, if you're here for years, you start meeting people, and it's just, you don't even start with the conversation of business. You're just having drinks and talking, and you find out you share something in common. You find out how someone else did it, and you think, oh, I'm going to try that. So in my case, I my classes were so popular, I was selling out. You know, there was a waiting list for 2 years to get into my class. So even my staff, because our school was nonprofit, they said, you should just start your own school. And I met other people who had done it, and I just talked to them.
Awesome.
Yeah. Joseph Contreras is asking what type of engineer you were.
I was a network engineer, a Microsoft certified systems engineer. I was working on network projects for Morgan Stanley, one of the financial organizations here, who were way better than me, but I had the Japanese language ability. My boss said, you're not gonna match these switched on young Japanese engineers, so become a project manager. Went for project management professional certification, got that, hardest test I've ever taken. Then I was able to manage groups of engineers. And then from there, I thought I can do this myself. Built my own company of 32 employees, outsourced my engineers back to the financial institution. And that really set me on the path for success.
And this is something
with network engineering now.
And I talk about this a lot. Some people are in such a rush to get to Japan, they skip university, they skip all their certifications, because they just want to be here and they don't want to leave. And I tell them, no, honestly, planning it out and getting all of those other certifications and everything in place, if you can learn Japanese and have some other business skill that you maybe do outside of Japan anyway, and you combine those things here, then you can do all sorts of things. But
just one thing I want to comment here. HR Hensley has said business is all about networking no matter where you do it. Marketing is all about networking. Selling yourself is all about networking. But I would say that it's all about good decisions. It's all about positioning yourself. Networking, look, I don't do any networking anymore, aside from these guys and this sort of thing. But I
do what we're doing right now.
I position myself, I make good decisions, and I help other people make good decisions. So networking has its place, but man, there's nothing like educated decisions for being a startup.
Yeah.
Got a quick question.
Yeah.
I knew a guy in Japanese class who joined something called the American Chamber of Commerce here in Nagoya. And they have him in Osaka and Tokyo, and he was able to jump from that to a pretty good career. Do you know anything about that in Tokyo? Basically, he was alone. He went there. Oh, really?
I'm sorry, it's a way. Victor, look.
No, it's good to know. He turned into.
I don't mean any disrespect for the
old
boys that hang out at the American Club, but man, they're just a bunch of old boys hanging out at the club. It's not really a place for networking. It's not a place for startups, for fresh minds, for great ideas to get born.
It works for some people.
It works for some people, but it's very corporate. It's very.
I've never gone, but I've heard things. So.
Yeah.
As a sticky corporate person,
I've touched it. I'm sorry, man. No, you're not sticky, and you're not even old. I'm a bit sticky, but no, really. I mentioned a 20-something-year-old entrepreneur walking into the ACCJ or the Tokyo American Club and going, guys, I've got this great idea. People are just going to go, what? Get another drink. Yeah, no, not really. There are much more vibrant, more focused, more passionate groups than the old boys club.
Right.
No disrespect to the old boys, though.
You love the old boys. No. Truth is, for some jobs, if you're a certified accountant and you're looking for a job in a company's finance department or something, sure, maybe that can be the best move you ever did, joining one of those things, and you might get some information or hooked up. But it can work depending on what you want to do. But if you've got the new killer app though that's going to change the world, don't go to the American Club or the Chamber of Commerce. They're not going to know what you're talking about or what language you're speaking. For the conversation of starting your own business and breaking, frankly, we're talking about how to escape from that world, which is what I'm trapped in. If you want to join my world, that's the best place to go. Come on, your world's pretty cool. That's good. My world is kind of cool. But, to the extent people want to go and be their own boss and run with that idea that they've had stuck in their head, we're talking about that. What we're talking about here, that's not the best direction to run. But it's not a bad place to get a job, per se. Just, for what we're talking about, for living your own dream, for a change, maybe that's not the ideal place. But there are so many, Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, these are huge cities with huge business communities and all sorts of, startup communities and, they're out there, and it just takes a Google to start finding them. True. All right, I got one more thing on my list here, which is called launch your minimum viable product or launch your business. But before that though, look, I'm seeing a million questions coming up here on the screen behind us.
there's a lot more detail here. So what I've done is I've packaged it all into an online course with a video and a transcript. I'm going to turn that on now because I promised to launch it during our thing here. You can go there. It's free. You can just get all the information that I'm talking about here in vid or in the textual transcript. I'm just going to turn it on for you now. So, can I do this without turning Victor off, or is that going to be bad?
So let's do this, Victor. We're going to disconnect.
Hang on, actually, let's leave Victor here. I'll do it from up here instead.
I'll lose you because this is my show. So you guys will disappear. I'll still be here.
Oh, well, that's
right. So Victor, how about we disconnect? And
no, that's fine. Look, it's going to take me less than a sec. There it is. Look. Okay. All right, done.
Okay, we're still
done.
there.
Now it's live. Okay. If you go to ginzahub.com, my website, up the top there's a courses and resources link, and it's got everything that I'm talking about here.
Victor, you do this. You use the screen share, you show it. So just type in ginzahub.com.
I will. I'm doing that right now.
Can you screen share? That'd be very
I think I can. Just a second.
You can screen share mine?
Yeah, you can screen share GinzaHub.
That's awesome.
And so you can show it live.
All right, do it.
Where is the screen share option?
By the way, Rob was showing this to me before the show, and it's awesome. Go back to showing the YouTube.
Hiko, where's, oh, never mind. Here it is. I think this is it. Screen share, is this Google Effects, control room, cameraman? Screen share, okay.
Okay, I got it. Screen, the green button.
I got it. Okay. Okay, can you see me?
Thank God it's not showing porn. Okay.
Okay. So there we are, over here. I got my notes over here.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the top
just click anywhere. Get rid of that thing. Click anywhere on the screen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Don't, yeah. There you go. So up the top it says courses and resources.
Right here. Right there.
Clicking
That's
on
it.
that. And there.
Okay.
So these are my courses and resources.
He's showing us here.
Yeah.
Get through to it.
Sure.
There we go.
And down there on the left, you can see start your own business in Japan. Don't click on that now, Victor. I just want people to see that they can go to ginzahub.com. They can click on courses and resources. Don't click on anything else there.
Okay.
And this is all the stuff I'm talking about now. I've put it in a vid for you. I put it in a textual context for you. So yeah, don't worry too much about the questions that we can't answer during the live thing.
Okay, great. There it is.
The porn. What is that?
the best prepared guest we've ever had on the show. He actually prepared an online.
I got up at 5 a.m. this morning to compile this stuff for you guys.
There you go.
Have a look at it. Free. It's all yours.
It's free. That's great.
Version of this video before we did the show, so that you can go back and you can see how to get the visa, how to set up a business, how to register in Japan, Japan business visas, all the advice. It's all packaged there. So. Impressive. Anyway, and I really like the tool, so it's worth picking up.
That's ginzahub.com. If you want to go straight to that page, it's courses.ginzahub.com.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Cool.
Fair.
You can see the courses.
All right, so back to the video, and the last thing is launching the product, launching the service. This is the hardest part. I know so many young entrepreneurs, well, old entrepreneurs too, who spend all this time getting their product absolutely perfect and making sure everything works, and then to run out of juice or run out of money or run out of enthusiasm. The idea of the MVP, the minimum viable product, is get your product good enough, just good enough, just with the minimum features, whatever it is that you're doing, to get out in front of people to get feedback. Yeah? It's no good building a business around an idea you have if no one else cares. And I talked about this at the beginning, right? I built this health education and product business, got it absolutely perfect, invested a massive amount of money and time to find that nobody gave a damn and it all fell over. If I'd have just listened to my own advice and thrown a basic version out into the market and got people to come back and say, yeah, more like this, Rob, less like this, maybe it would have worked, or at least I would have saved myself a boatload of money, but I didn't. So this is something I really want to save people from doing, is trying to get things perfect before they launch. It's nonsense. It's fiction. You're better off getting something good enough, a minimum viable product, getting it out there and then getting feedback and then changing it, then iterating it and polishing it up, making it more about what the feedback is telling you to do. This is so important. I can't emphasize it enough.
So come back to my theoretical. I'm just thinking, so I'm thinking about all this as you're saying it. So my theoretical is, as you know, the whole problem which I see for solving is that there are a million helpful settings that if you use all of them really well, you can actually do a lot to really boost your YouTube channel, but it's a lot of work to do. And probably promising to do this whole suite of stuff is probably a lot of effort to do in the beginning, and people might ask for too much diverse stuff. But if you just focus on, I'll do your tags, I'll do your thumbnail, and I'll do your, maybe an analytics report, or maybe I'll moderate your comments or something like that. Something which is easy to execute. And then these other ideas, which I think I can do this as well, and this idea, this as well. You're suggesting cutting it down to the easiest maybe to execute and show a tangible result first. Perhaps that'd be an equivalent of your sort of MVP idea.
Yes, but you want to measure that.
Yeah.
You want to throw. What I'd recommend is that you throw up a website or a YouTube video or something that suggests certain things that you want to do without you spending a boatload of money on it and web developing the shit out of it and marketing it too much. And just say, listen, look, I've got this idea. Here are the top 3 things I want to deliver. If I can get 100 people to say hell yeah. If you get 2 people saying hell yeah, probably best to think of something else.
Yeah.
If you get 1,000 people saying hell yeah,
then you're ready. Yeah.
Then you're ready. This is back to the cafe idea. I said, someone who wants to run a cafe, they've got a core kind of food that they want to sell. They go to some event and they get 100 units of this food out. They get 50 people to come back and say, this is absolutely brilliant. God, where can I get this? Or they get 50 people saying, yeah, that was nice, but that other dude's stuff is a little better. Different types of feedback will change everything.
Yeah.
Or someone who wants to launch an app, and so they build a mock website, and they say, and they put, look, click on this link if you're interested, and we'll send you more information. There's actually no more information, but they get 1,000 clicks, or 10,000 clicks, or 100,000 clicks. They know that the idea that they're promoting it's got legs. It's worth doing. So unless you've got some method of getting your product out to early adopters, showing people that you've got an idea that maybe they're interested in, it's just ideas. It's just fluff. This is a good idea.
Yeah.
What you would do, because you're good with YouTube, is go out, throw up a very simple 1-minute YouTube vid, watch the comments come in. Yeah, listen, that's good, Hiko, but we don't actually want those things. What we really want is people to help us with this.
Yeah.
This is more complex than what you're saying.
Yeah.
Before you spend any money, you get that information and you build it, and you're on a winner. All about the feedback.
Yeah, a really good example of that was when I was going to host my first creator day, and I had this whole different agenda of showing people what's, or recommending to YouTube how these things should be structured. And I had my own very firm ideas of what I thought these things were always missing and what I thought they should have. But when I talked with Bomb Arrow and Stu in Japan and a few guys like that, really talented creators, and it surprised me. They had very different ideas. And I suddenly went, whoa, your ideas are actually way good, and I hadn't even thought of that. And that's exactly, I was so confident in my own idea, and then I wanted to run with it. And I talked with these guys, and it made me realize, damn, your ideas, no, that's changed my whole perspective on this. And it made it much better. So
perfect.
Yes, I totally
perfect. So imagine on the other side of the coin, if you'd have just gone, busted ahead and launched out what you wanted, and no one gave a damn about it, right? But instead you listen, oh God, wait a second, these guys know what they're talking about. So you iterated, you pivoted, and you changed into what they wanted to do, and it's a win for everyone. That is it. That's the MVP. You've just described it beautifully.
Okay. What do you think about these Kickstarters and all that sort of stuff? That's kind of popular. That seems like an equivalent of what you're talking about.
A lot of Kickstarters are never going to work, right? They're never going to be actual products. They're throwing it out to the public to see what the public wants. Yeah, look, we like your drone, but we really want a camera, want a GoPro on it. Oh yeah, we like your little fitness app. But look, Fitbit's already doing that, so how about this? And so they're gathering this information. And a lot of them are very smart guys with resources and funding, and they're gathering information about what to build. They don't actually have a product. They're letting the target audience tell them what to build. It's brilliant. Kickstarter is a great way for MVPs to actually see reality. So for anyone who wants to come to Japan and build a business, don't wait till it's perfect. Don't make sure that your idea is absolutely fantastic. Get it out to a bunch of early adopters. Put an MVP out there to a target audience. Gather feedback and then build it. It's way better than getting it. This is what I did with Ginza Hub. Like I said, I built a bare bones space. I had those early people come in that I pitched to at these entrepreneurial events. They told me, look, Rob, we want lockable cabinets. We want an extra coffee machine for one that dies. We want a whiteboard. We want a video, a projector. We want a place to sleep downstairs when we need our power naps after our big pasta lunches. Whatever they wanted, which I didn't think of, I just built because they told me. My MVP, and I let my customers tell me what to do, and now they stay.
Hey, I got a question for you. In Japan, I have been told, and at my school, this is proven to be true. If we offer free classes for like a sample class, like come in and test out the school, give you a free class, you can test it out. If we do that, people tend not to be as interested. But if I say you can come for the discounted price of only 500 yen today only, then if they have to pay for it, they seem to be more interested. Then it's cultural. And I was pretty surprised about this, but yeah, my partner at the school, Yukari, she says it's pretty common in Japan. What do you think about that? So then the question is related to the MVP. Do you charge for it? Because it sounds like you're saying just throw it out there for free and see what comes back. No,
you charge for it. You charge for it.
You charge for it.
Because the people that are going to give you feedback are financially invested. I mean, free is seen as low quality.
Right.
Okay. I mean, if you want to give free stuff as an add-on to something that people are paying for, it's like, yay, wow, that's so cool. That's such a bonus. But if you're using free stuff to get people to come in and sample your service or your product, you're going to get the wrong people. You're going to get the wrong feedback. And really, Victor, I mean, look, if something's free...
Well, that's what I've been doing, but I was wondering about that, yeah.
No, honestly, the research says that if you add a price, people value it more. In fact, if you add even more price, people value it even more to a certain extent. And then the feedback you get is way more genuine because people are financially invested.
Right.
So no, I would add more than that. I would add quite a chunk to get. You'll get fewer people coming, but there'll be more quality people. They'll probably stay with your product, and they'll give you feedback that's way more meaningful than your tire kickers who come in just to have a look.
I have a question. So I see someone in the comments there. Tia Haygood.
She's up the end of the room.
Come over here, Tia.
Come over here, Tia.
Tia, she's working in the background here and
building her business. Building her successful startup.
Slacking off watching YouTube instead of working.
A little bit / signing up for driver's lessons.
So you've done this whole thing. You started out your photography business. Rob helped you, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you went through this process that Rob's talking about. You did these steps of problem that needs to be solved, your minimum viable product. You did all of this.
Yes.
You did the visa thing. You got your own visa.
So what I did, I think Robert was talking about this earlier. The instructor's visa is what I currently have, and it's going to run out next year.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I still needed to do my business legally.
Yeah.
So I signed up for the side business visa. It's kind of like a permission.
Yeah.
And they put a nice little sticker in my passport and on my gaijin card on the back. So
with the business name.
With the business name, yeah.
That's
it
cool.
says top tier photography
On your gaijin card.
On the gaijin card and in the passport.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it's would behoove you to go through the proper channels. One of the things that I thought I could get away with is quit my job and just quietly do the business under the instructor's visa, but I am paying taxes. And that's something that they will see later on down the road. So Robert helped me so much. He introduced me to an attorney, an immigration attorney. Helped me.
Phoenix has that question in the comments section. He wants to know if it's better to go through a lawyer for these things.
It's better to get assistance for it. It's not good to just hand the reins over and say, do it for me. You've got to be involved to understand what's going on, and it's really your future, right? But look, it's Japan. I mean, the convoluted processes here to get stuff done. You want to get professional advice. I've actually included a couple of names in the course that I've just launched for you guys. We use with Tia as well, a dedicated public scrivener, they're called, or a visa lawyer, and also a tax accountant who basically sorts out the hard bits for us, but lets us do the rest ourselves. Right. So you want assistance, but you don't want to hand it over to anybody, no.
And by the way, Victor didn't do this, but when I got my PR visa, there's a lot of paperwork, and I was busy, so I got help. The same thing. I got a visa consultant, visa lawyer. So yeah, I think it's got to.
I did it myself. Yeah, I was surprised he did that. But
yeah,
it's pretty convoluted. I don't know if it's Tokyo or what, man. But look, it doesn't cost a lot of money to get a professional to make sure that all the T's are crossed, and I's are dotted, and actually lodge it for you. And your chances are way better than doing it yourself.
And if it's for a business, it makes even more sense. You don't want to get anything wrong with that.
Right. I think that the benefit from meeting the immigration lawyer was that I knew what I needed to do. I didn't hire him to put in my application. I did that part myself, but I was confident in doing that because he informed me what the necessary steps were.
Yep.
Victor, you going to say something?
Muscle watching is here, but I'm just surprised. Guy from Osaka. Hey, got a question in the comment section. I'm curious, if buying an existing business in Japan to get your foot in the door, would that be an optional step before starting up your own? So is that an option, buying an existing business?
That's fantastic. That's half of the businesses that I've been successful at, I've actually bought rather than started up from scratch. Yes, you can do that, but the first thing is it's a visa issue. You're not allowed to buy property, whether it's virtual or physical or business here, without the proper visa. But if you have a proper visa, go for it. That's a really good way. If you buy a business that maybe the owner wasn't suited for, but you are, that's a fantastic way to do business in Japan. So hell yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's muscle watching. Oh, he's okay. That's awesome. He is a huge YouTuber. He's actually one of the biggest fitness gurus in Japan.
Really?
Japanese.
Shows your abs.
Seriously, go to muscle watching channel and you'll see his abs. He's got killer abs.
All right.
Yes. Oh, that's cool. So okay. So you had the visa sorted out.
Yes.
So what was your problem that you identified, and what was your minimum viable product?
Awesome question.
I'm put on the
Get him,
spot.
Tia.
Thank you.
Give it to him.
And you know what? He did the same thing to me. He actually asked me that
We
question.
role played this.
Oh,
We
wow.
role played this so that when people ask, "What do you do?" she could go the full.
And you know what? This also tacks on to what you were saying about what the audience also says. So my problem was that there are a lot of foreigners that are coming to Japan and have communication problems. And for me, being the foodie and photographer that I am, I looked at that communication problem for restaurants. And there are lots of restaurants that they don't have any photos on their menu, and they don't have it in English.
Right.
So like, for example, let's say yakitori. You know, yakitori, there's bonjiri, there's all sorts of kinds. So you can't just go in and say, oh, I want that one. I think it makes sense. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So to alleviate that issue, I wanted to present my product as a photographer, go to a restaurant and say, hey, how many foreigners are you getting at your establishment? Some people say not very many, but I want some. And some people say I have a lot and I don't know what to do. So I go in and my solution is I'm going to take photos of your food and create or find someone to create an English menu or a menu with the language that is most needed.
Yeah.
That was my initial explanation when Rob asked me that question.
Yeah.
But now what I've found is that there are lots of foreigners in Japan who also need photos done, and they can't really communicate with Japanese photographers.
Right.
So I'd say maybe 70% of my clientele has been foreigners who need photographers for events, LinkedIn profile photos, product, all sorts of things, and food. So
And you didn't foresee that in the beginning. You were thinking about the restaurant thing.
I was thinking about Japanese clients.
The customers gave her the feedback. She iterated, cashed in, and the rest is history.
And now the business is running.
Cool.
So Victor, sorry, you tried to talk a couple of times.
No. I just got a video of muscle watching showing off his body. If you guys want to see it later. Whenever we went to San Francisco together, so.
Oh, that's right. How was your trip, Victor?
That was great. I had a great time. Muscle watching was there. He's a lot of fun. Yeah, I met a ton of. I just put up a video. Actually, I interviewed a bunch of YouTubers from all over the world and asked them what they thought about the upcoming elections. So we have international.
No, it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. I just can't
I know
wait.
3 more days, right? What's today, Saturday?
It's a train coming. That's what's
It's a train coming. It's 2 trains coming.
In 4 more days, we'll know what's going to happen.
It'll be over soon. Maybe for all of us.
But one of the things that I've noticed in the comments are that a lot of people have different names for the exact same visa. So I think probably a list of a clear list of what type of visas are. Is he sharing?
He's sharing the body
muscle
showing.
what? Wow.
Muscle.
Is that an 8-pack?
That is probably a 12 or 16 pack.
That's muscle watching.
On top of the muscles.
So yeah, maybe on each of those packs we can put the correct names of visas that everyone needs.
I'll be showing the 6-pack of muscle watching right now. Sorry, Victor, you have to show that again. Victor, actually, this is muscle watching, and that is the That is the abs. He literally has a
Is that
video
it?
with him showing
Is that
the
it?
abs.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. That's very low body fat. That's very cool.
Very low body fat, yeah. There he is.
Don't
Very
get too
Japanese
close.
fitness guy.
There he is. Muscle watching. Check him out.
Cool guy.
Muscle actually. Thanks for coming in.
Very nice guy, yeah. I'll put that video out. Anyway.
So that's it for me. That just those 4 things. Define the problem we're solving. Get a visa so you can do business here. Register your visa in Japan. Sorry, your business in Japan. Actually, we didn't really get into registering the business in Japan.
We skipped that, I know. But
Do we want to do that really quickly?
can you just give us
Yeah,
the
all
concerns?
right.
How did you do it? Let's do it. How did you register your company?
Well, we had to fill out 2 applications and then have them signed by a tax attorney.
Yes.
That sounds very complicated and intimidating.
It's not. Look, everybody thinks that you've got to have a kabushiki gaisha, a KK.
Yeah.
And you've got to spend $1 million in starting capital to do that. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
If you do need a KK to establish.
Okay.
So that whole $1 million yen thing is gone. But there's also the Godo Gaisha. There's another one below that, which provides the same limited liability for the owners, and it's very nice, with way less administrative overhead. But the one that Tia went for that I really recommend to everyone is called Kojin Itaku. All it is you're registering yourself as a private consultant, a private contractor with the tax department. So as long as you have a business name, and I'll talk about that in a second, and an address and a phone number, you can register yourself as a private consultant, and then you can consult out to anybody you want with whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it costs nothing. It's a 2 blue pages we filled out with our tax consultant who did it for free. It took 15 minutes. You take another copy, you send it off to the tax office, they send it back to you stamped, and you're in business.
And that took about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So Kojin Itaku is the way to go to start. And if you need to be fully incorporated, you can go up to Godo Gaisha. Yeah. And if you need to be fully incorporated to deal with government agencies or whoever needs the prestige of the full package, you can go up to Kabushiki Gaisha, but it's just not necessary. So everyone that comes to me always says, I don't have $1 million yen, in starting capital for this. No. There's Godo Gaisha, which some of our members have, like Alex, right? But really, the easiest way is just to register yourself as a private consultant with the tax office, get them to stamp it, and you're in business, and it costs you nothing, more than 2 stamps.
And you guys, so you know people who can help with these forms?
Yeah, we've got our superstar tax accountant has a satellite office downstairs here. He does it for free. So far, he's done it for free for everybody. Yep. Free is good, right? And then he charges 120,000 for the Godo Gaisha if you need that. Yeah. And he charges 290,000 for the Kabushiki Gaisha if you need that. But you don't. It's easy to start with the basic one and then step up if you really need that. If your clients need it or your business situation changes and you need that. But generally you don't. You just don't.
Wow. So it's that easy.
And just the last thing was the business name. How do I make a business name? If I'm going to register a business, how do I do a business name? 2 quick things. Think of something that your target customers are going to identify with. Mm-hmm. So the example I like to think of, look, we've got Muscle Dude there. If he's going to make a gym, it's going to be like something like Power Up Gym versus Trans Enterprises or something, which the target audience won't understand. Try and think of something that your target audience will Google, or that they'll otherwise think of. Yeah. The second thing is look for a .com or a .net or maybe a .jp that exists. Yeah. So, I mean, it's no good spinning up a business if someone else owns the URL and they have a web page on it, because that's going to spoil everything for you, right? I mean, we even had trouble with Ginza Hub because there's a chain of British hubs called Hub. And people are like, what kind of beer do you sell, Rob? No, Hub means all sorts of things, not just beer, but unfortunately in this city, it's all about beer. So we even had trouble with that. Had I known about the chain, I would have maybe thought of a different business name. So do some research there. Try and find something that has a .com or a .net or a .jp that's not being widely used. And try and think of something that your target customer would likely Google to search for you. And then that'll be a way better winner than something that just sounds cool.
So Victor, you've set up a business. Well, what are you registered as?
I think it's a Kojin. It's a Kojin. I only have a Kojin. That's all I need.
Yeah, Hojin Itaku, right.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. So that's two things that I've mentioned tonight that you've hit on and that work for you, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, my brother has the. I think he has the Kabushiki Gaisha actually.
Wow.
And he's got like 6 branches on his school, and he's got 6 or 7 branches. So he does kids. He does kids. So tons of kids. I don't want to deal with kids.
Love Kabushiki. It makes sense at a certain level, but it's a lot of administrative fluff and it's a lot of unnecessary money expenditure. So you really don't. I don't know of many businesses that need it unless they want to deal with the big shots up there. You know.
Well, that's what happened. He was just a Kojin for a long time, and then he started expanding. And then I think last year or 2 years ago, he went all the way to Kabushiki Gaisha.
Fair enough.
But that involves investors and stuff, and it gets a lot more complicated. Yeah.
Not just watching it, but yeah.
Good. There you go.
Everybody's aligned. I am not registered anything. I feel I'm the odd person out. I'm not. I need to register something. I need to get my ideas all in order, don't I?
Get a domain name. Get Hiko.com.
I have that. I've got that. What is it? Hikosaemon.com.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
He's on the way.
I'm on the way. The baby steps.
Ready to happen.
I did that 10 years ago. I'm ready for the second step.
That's worth money now.
Well, that's right.
Hey, Chris Sanders says something, and I think I can answer his question. He was asking about needing a visa to register the business, I think. And I think I registered top tier with my instructor's visa. So I didn't need to have the side business.
Correct.
So I don't check that with that.
That's
then
correct.
they check I'm a legal resident, but other than that, not really.
That's correct. For the investor/business manager's visa, though, you do need a Kabushiki Gaisha. They kind of go hand in hand. For the other ones that I mentioned, though, you just don't. And again, guys, look, there's a million questions pouring in. Please go to genzahub.com. Have a look at the course. I've written it all down. I videoed it out for you. I really hope that's helpful. It's just free. Just get it, you know, or keep pouring questions in. I'm going to stay till like 2 a.m. If these questions exist, or do they go away?
Yeah.
So what will happen is YouTube, they kill it after 5 minutes after the video finishes. All these comments will
Let's keep the video going then. So I can
Until 2 a.m.
So what I
space it at the ceiling or something.
So what will happen is, if you have questions for Rob that you want him to be able to answer back, definitely go and check out the course. Then come back and put a comment on this video when it switches from live to regular comments.
Right.
Because then those comments, they're there permanently and you can respond at your leisure.
Awesome.
So rather than leave the video open forever and make this a
let's just
2-week video, let the video in, give it 5 minutes, and then come back if you've really got questions. But the point is also, what I want to emphasize here is, last time we did the show, some people who are brave enough actually reached out and businesses. Oh.
Yep.
So you know,
business.
they're already doing that. So
launching startups.
you know, it's happening, and there's a chance to do this again now. If you were hesitant before, definitely don't hesitate to leave a comment, to check out the online course, and reach out to
email me, or you can text me from within the course, or whatever. I mean, it's not hard to get me.
Oh, one more question. You said you're charging hourly, right?
Yes.
You want to share your price online, or is that better to email you? 15,000?
15,000. Ichiman gosen an hour. 15,000 yen an hour.
Very reasonable.
So look, the first hour is for free. I can mostly get you started in an hour, but after that, you know, if I've got to take time away from my paying customers, I've got to ask for payment.
Of course.
Yen an hour.
That's like what you're talking about. You got to. It's a point. You don't come all disorganized, and you don't come for a fluffy conversation for that. No. You get prepared. You show a little bit of commitment on your side, but the point is, Rob will actually help you get all this shit done, and he's done it with people, including people in the room here. So you know, yeah, it's pretty awesome, and it's awesome to again see it not just talking about it, but the actual people here in the comments who are watching this video who are already doing this. So this is why it's cool. That's why Rob is back, and it's also got me thinking as well. What should I be doing? So yes,
the Olympics are coming soon. That's a good business opportunity.
Yeah. Could be, yeah.
And when you're bilingual, you're switched on, you've got the Hikosaemon.com domain name.
I have my domain name.
All right, come back for a double shot of espresso next time, and I'm sure that things will come to the fore.
That might do it. One of those bulletproof coffees that you have.
Hell
those are crazy. That will.
Yeah,
I will start up 4 companies on one cup.
Probably. Hey, if we're going to do this again, you wanted to do a martial arts one, right? You wanted to get the wooden dummy happening and us whacking the pads and stuff. Do you really want to do that?
I have. Rob can kick my ass.
Just on the pads.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun to see.
On the wooden dummy.
Rob could probably knock me out with a pillow.
Hey, we can even do
He
that.
would just whack me like
Massive
this, and I would
Oyajis
drop.
pillow fight.
Oh my
We should go to
goodness.
Victor's place to do it.
Oh,
Oh,
it is in Nagoya, but
Up the
That's
road.
that's too far away.
Council station just there.
I'll come to you guys.
I'll tell you what, yeah, Wing Chun style. So some people noticed this last time. They saw the workout equipment. Yeah, so maybe we'll do another show, and maybe he'll kick my ass live in addition to all the
No. But we should set up the dummy and get the pads
You
going
mean me?
and not talk about business at all. You're not the
So
dummy.
when
We
he
can be
says
the
set up
dummy.
the dummy, I feel like something's going to happen to me.
oh no. There was a wooden one downstairs.
I
by
saw
you.
it.
So I don't know. I just want to verify it is actually the wooden one that we're talking
The
about.
wooden one.
Okay, good.
Well, you guys have fun.
Yes. Well, I think
Thanks,
Punching
dear.
the bag. I'm gonna go back to work.
this has been very good.
Okay.
Anything else from you, Victor?
Yeah, no, that's well. I got tons of stuff, but I think I'm gonna contact Robert offline a little bit later, but not tonight. But we better wrap.
A bit more because I do want to get back to some of these questions if that stays open long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Well, you can
So
stay here and go in the comments.
I can still
yeah.
scroll through them and answer them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, for a little while, but it'll
You can't
be gone
write
soon.
comments this way. You can only write new comments in though. So that's the thing. It'll go. You can do replies.
Yeah.
after-
So guys, be sure to rewrite your questions after this live
I
dies.
want to stay until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
here, so please.
So go to ginzahub.com
Yeah,
and
just
you
go
can
to
see the course.
gizmo.com, get the course, check out the stuff, and let
And
me
make
know if
comments
it's
here.
valuable or what else you want, right? I'm trying to do an MVP here, so.
Great.
Most valuable player. That's what I thought it was first, but it's
No,
not.
it's minimum viable product. Oh, MVP, most valuable player, right?
That's what
I Yes,
It's a
that's
compliment,
That's what Donald Trump said in his promotional video for you.
No, please.
Don't say
go there.
Trump.
Don't go
Don't
there.
do it.
I saw all the comments after your mask thing today, man.
People get so
couldn't help
serious.
themselves.
It's just a joke. And that's what we-
Oh, it's
So Victor gets the clicks. That's what he does.
my God.
definitely an interesting gentleman, though, Victor. We need to hang out a little more.
Yeah.
We do.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for coming on again.
Thanks, guys. Good luck with your businesses. Good luck in Japan. Come and hit the wooden dummy and have a coffee with us next time.
Not me. There's an actual wooden
The other
dummy.
dummy.
And we're gonna hit that. Yes, it'll be fun.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks for coming out, Robert.
Peace.
See ya, Hiko. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
See ya.
Stopping.